What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel, and welcome back to my 30 Clubs in 30 Days series. Check out my other teams that I've already done. Did the Yankees yesterday. Today it's the Cleveland Indians, and we're going to take a look at this team, one of the better teams in baseball over the past 5 or so years. But now, are they still that? Or is this era coming to an end as the Indians? Well, we know the Indians era is coming to the end because they're changing their name. But is the Cleveland baseball team era of being elite, being a good team, being a playoff team, is that coming to an end as they have already traded off Francisco Lindor, their superstar talent, along with Carlos Carrasco, a big piece in that rotation. They lost Brad Hand and several other really good players. But they have been making some moves. They haven't been completely quiet trying to replace some of these guys that they've lost, and I still think that this team is decent. Even without Carrasco, you know, he was the last piece of that great rotation that had Trevor Bauer, that had Corey Kluber, and now they're pretty much all gone. But it's fine, right? They got freaking Shane Bieber, only the Cy Young Award winner. Anytime you got Shane Bieber in that rotation, well, you got something pretty freaking good. They've also re-signed Cesar Hernandez, who turned in an extremely strong 2020. He won a Gold Glove. He hit .283. He led the league with 20 doubles. He'll be back with the Indians. So they're not completely giving up even after the Lindor deal, which landed them Eddie Rosario and Andres Jimenez. They are still going to bring back Hernandez, and they still got Jose Ramirez in that infield. So the infield should be pretty good even without Lindor. And then Eddie Rosario, another big free agent signing, bringing a power bat over from Minnesota on an $8 million deal. Not bad. 28 home runs in 2019, 13 more last year in just 210 at-bats. And by the way, he's apparently loved hitting at Progressive Field. Career .353 average and an OPS over 1,000 when hitting in Cleveland. But a more recent signing is Speedster Billy Hamilton. He was in Giants camp last season, and obviously his main asset is speed. He can fly. He's only 30 years old, and he will be nice to have in extra innings for that horrible rule that puts a runner on second base. But if you got someone like Billy on the bench, he can go in and pinch run. But obviously, you know, roster spots are valuable, so it's no guarantee he's going to make the team, especially with some good competition like Oscar Mercado and Bradley Zimmer. But neither were great in 2020, so it will be a competition, and we'll see how that plays out in spring training. But let's just take a look at a potential lineup for the 2021 Cleveland Indians, and it starts with Cesar Hernandez. Like I said, a huge re-signing to continue to have that bat and that glove in the lineup. Then Jose Ramirez, who's just getting better. I mean, that guy is just amazing. Finished second in the MVP race, and he absolutely obliterates fastballs. Quick hands, strong defense, just 28 years old. I am predicting that he tops 40 home runs for the first time in his career, and that is only valid if it's a full 162, which let's hope so. Eddie Rosario, another big signing, like I said, keeping pitchers honest with another power threat in there, and he can go deep at any point, and he has been a good defender in the past. I think his defensive skills may have dropped a little bit, but he's going to do fine out there. And then Franmil Reyes, an absolute beast. Averaged 92.4 exit velocity last year. He's going to hit close to, if not over 30 home runs. Strikes out a little too much, but he has good speed for his size. Perfect DH. Another power bat just to complement the other big bats in that lineup. And you can see that the top of that lineup is going to be pretty good. Then you have Josh Naylor, a former Marlins first-round pick, just 24. He can also hit the ball very hard, good base runner, decent fielder. He's never really been able to show, you know, consistent home run power. Maybe he needs to work on that launch angle or something. He also has trouble with breaking stuff. And I don't know what happened to Jake Bauers, but he never showed up in 2020. I mean, I don't mean that figuratively. I mean, literally. He was in the camp all season long. And in 2019, he just 226 with 12 home runs. So I don't know what we're going to see from Bauers, but he may get another opportunity in 2021. But overall, I mean, there's some potential there. And then you have Roberto Perez, who is there for his elite defensive abilities behind the plate. He can frame, he can block, he can throw out base runners, and if nothing else at the plate, he can go deep. He hit 24 bombs in 2019. Andres Jimenez is next, a strong fielder. Relatively light hitter when you compare him to Lindor, but he did hold his own at the plate. He hit .263 with a .333 on base, 3 home runs in 118 at-bats. And in the outfield, like I said, there'll be some competition. Could be Mercado, could be Zimmer. Hamilton, like I said, will be in camp. And Zimmer was a pretty good prospect back in 2017, but since then, some injury issues, a surgery. He's been miserable at the plate. He hit 162 in 2020 after going 0 for 13 in 2019. He'll be pushed hard by Oscar Mercado, who has a massive swing. Just doesn't connect enough, at least not last season, but he did hit 269 in 2019 with 15 home runs. Finally, Daniel Johnson and Jordan Luplow will be in the mix for that last outfield spot. You have Luplow. He started the year terribly, went 2 for 31. He started to heat up, ended up at 192. And Johnson hadn't really had a big sample yet, but he did hit 290 with 19 home runs in the minors in 2019. So this lineup, it's not actually as terrible as you might think after trading away one of the best players in the game, and you get a couple of light hitting infielders for that. So it's still decent. There's some definite power threats there. The lineup kind of fizzles out after the first 5, and, you know, the top 5 still pretty potent. So overall, I'm going to give this lineup a C+, but if guys like Daniel Johnson or Oscar Mercado or some of the prospects that are waiting in the wings have a big year for the Indians, could be a lot better than that. And their rotation still looks good, even without Mike Clevenger, without Carlos Carrasco, without all those guys. It's still decent, not the best in the game, but actually it has the best in the game in Shane Bieber, who won the Cy Young Award, has multiple elite pitches, including one of the best curves in the game. He has a sit cutter. He's got that slider. He's got that heat. His 122 strikeouts in 2020 looks like a typo. It was just a 60-game season. How are you going to strike out 122 batters? He did. And he was 8-1 with a 1.63 ERA. Absolutely sick. And then Zach Plesac, who offers some nasty sliders of his own with a plus changeup. He dominated in 2020 himself with a 2.28 ERA in 8 starts. Gave up just 38 hits over 55. And then after that, the success of this 21 Indians team really is going to be riding on these young starters like Tristan Mckenzie. I mean, he looked good in 2020 in 6 starts. The guy is 6'5". He's got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a plus curve. He could turn out to be a really good pitcher, maybe even an elite pitcher. Aaron Civale's a guy who's been pretty solid throughout his young career. 3.69 ERA in 20 starts. He's not afraid to attack hitters. He's got a nice cutter and a nice curve. Hasn't really had a full season to prove himself, though. So we'll see what he can do. And then finally, Logan Allen, who has 4 solid pitches, including a nasty curve and the Vulcan that is his changeup. His past numbers kind of look more like a back-end type, but, you know, even a long reliever, but he's got the stuff, so he can become good if he can just kind of hone his skills, improve his control a little bit, and he should be all right. And the Indians got Scott Moss in the system, and he should be making his big league debut in 21. He's got strikeout stuff, minor league career of 41-17 with a 3.28 ERA. All that said, this rotation obviously is outstanding through the first 2, and then you kind of hope for the best after that. You got arms with tools, but you got a lack in experience. But I do believe Mckenzie is going to be legit, and after that, I think there'll be some good times and bad times. I mean, you got some good arms in there, but they're not going to just go dominate every night. But overall, you got a Cy Young Award winner, you got a great arm like Plesac, and you got a ton of great options there with potential. And like I said, Scott Moss is there ready to go if needed. So all in all, I think this is going to be a pretty damn good rotation, and I'm going to give it a B-. Finally, let's jump into the bullpen, and here are some names. And you can see some guys like Heath Embry, former Giants prospect, Blake Parker, DJ Johnson, all on minor league deals, and they could definitely make the team and help contribute. But as for the main guys, you got James Karinchak, and he should be the closer. He's got high heat. He's got a nasty curve. He's got ridiculous spin. He strikes out almost 50% of his opponents, and these are major league hitters we're talking about. This guy is legit. He has definitely earned an opportunity as a closer, and I think he's going to become a big-time MLB closer, a big-time name going forward, especially now with the departure of Brad Hand. That closer role is his. Then you got a big-time wild card with Emmanuel Clase, who great stuff with Texas in 2019, 2.31 ERA. Guy hits triple digits, absolutely filthy, but then he got a PD suspension, and that's not good. So he missed 2020, and he will be back and hopefully just as good for Indians fans. I mean, like I said, the guy has ridiculous stuff, great spin as well. And, you know, if he can bring that in 2021, that'll be just fantastic. So just got to hope that the PEDs weren't the reason for that amazing stuff, or not the sole reason. But other than that, Phil Maton can also bring that heat with spin. Great strikeout stuff as well. Somewhat high ERA, but I think that could be improved in 2021. And, you know, some guys are coming back like Cal Quantrill. and Adam Plutko, also solid options as well. And look out for Rule 5 selection, Tyler Stephan, who has a nasty fastball slider combo, and he showed great stuff in the minor leagues as well. And Kyle Nelson is somebody who just flew through the minors very quickly especially considering he was a 15th round pick, and he showed dominance at every level. So this was looking to be a really nice pick by the Indians there in the 15th round, and he has a good chance to make the team because they don't have a lot of lefties, and he's a lefty, so they might just need him. And this pen, like I said, yes, it's gonna miss some good arms. It's gonna miss Brad Hand. It's gonna miss Oliver Perez. It's gonna miss Adam Simber. But it's still decent. It's still decent. I mean, they could use more lefties, and how Class A bounces back is going to be really important. But I think they have a legit closer in Karinchak, and I think that this pin is going to be all right. I don't think it's an A+ pin, but I think it's going to be all right, and I'm going to give it a solid B. So there you have it, a quick look at the 2021 Cleveland Indians, a team that has a lot of talent, even after losing Lindor and Hand and everyone else. And they've regained some of that, by signing Rosario and bringing back Hernandez. And they have other prospects on the way, like Nolan Jones, I didn't mention. Tyler Freeman, I didn't mention. Those guys are waiting in the wings. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be, big elite talents, but they have some depth there. So all around, I think this team still is good. I think they can be competitive, and I think if the ball rolls right, I think that they could even be a playoff team again. But the Twins and White Sox, they just look amazing. They are really, I think, the teams to beat this year. But the Indians, I don't think the window is completely closed just yet. I think there's a little bit of light shining through, and maybe they can capitalize and have a chance. But overall, I think this team is about a B-, so that's what I'll give them. Cleveland Indians, let me know what you think down below. What do you think the new name should be? I've talked about that. I've had several videos on that. Spiders, what do you think? What's the new name going to be for the Cleveland baseball team? Right now, they're still the Indians, so I'm going to call them the Indians. So, Cleveland Indians, B-. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Have a great day, and hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya!
When the Giants come to